general consensus that the high school program is a very fertile ground for us. We only reach 3% of all high school students in our service area now. So the question is, how would we go about doing that? There was actually two parts to our program thing. It was talking about how we expand that high school, and then how do we do a better job of delivering programs to our existing fifth and eighth grade programs. So I think we all like the idea of the student company program. Look forward to hearing a lot more about how that is developed on a national basis. And so we had that in there as being potentially a very high impact area, and we actually have that shown here twice. One is a student company, kind of a pilot program where we would go test the market on that and do that for a fairly small number of student companies. And we could do that without spending too much money and have it in. And when we talk about impact, there's also a question of its quantity versus quality. I think maybe we only reach a couple hundred people, but it could have a very deep, meaningful impact to those few hundred, but it's not reaching 20,000 students. So the high impact and probably higher cost would be really embracing the student company program and making that, reach thousands of students through doing that. We also talked about, on the high school, just staying on that, the Finance Park virtual, the virtual Finance Park program, which is already out there, and actually rolling that out and spending a lot more of an effort to get students to go through that program in the high school. High impact, fairly low cost because it's already been developed. And we think that that's something we could look at more. A lot of us don't know an awful lot about that existing program, and we'd have to do a little bit more, get a little more impact on that. But that seems to be something that we could almost kind of pull off the shelf, maybe with some modifications to our students, and be able to do that. We said the student job program, which I gave everybody a handout on that. There was kind of generally, it kind of sounds like a good idea. Maybe we ought to look at that a little bit more. Probably wouldn't cost an awful lot if we charge people to do it, but didn't spend too much time talking about that. The vodcast, and I guess we didn't end up, we put that over here. As some people, there was a bit of a difference when we talked about the vodcast. You remember Andrew was talking about having a series of maybe 10 or 12 video conferences, either live or recorded by Mike Jackson, the community leader, talking about things like how do you go out and finance a car at AutoNation and that type of thing. A lot of us think that that's got a lot of potential and could be really good. Others said, there could be some real challenges on that, particularly if you did it on an interactive basis. So we didn't think it was a real high-cost item, but there was also some difference of opinion on how impactful that might end up being. Something we'd have to develop a little bit more. We also talked a little bit about after-school programs and being able to use our existing facility that's dark a lot of times at night and on weekends, and whether or not there are ways that we could develop financial literacy programs, perhaps as a high school elective, something that might give college credit, and be able to not only use our facility more, but reach a bunch of high school students in a specially designed program that we would talk more about. We also, I think, all agree that as far as existing programs, we need to figure out ways to do a better job of getting these students prepared before they ever show up. We have a lot of kids that I know first year they were getting their material on the bus on the way over when they should have spent several hours in classroom. So we need to be cognizant of that and try to figure out ways that we can get the teachers more engaged and ultimately have these students more prepared before they come in so they get the most out of it. Andrew, what did I miss?